meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone to the April 25th, 2023 regular scheduled Port Clinton City Council meeting in the Linda Hart Law Chambers. Please stand for pledge of allegiance, the Lord's Prayer, a moment of silence for those serving in particular.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thy kingdom, power, and glory forever.
Okay, thank you. You may be seated. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Beth Gilman. Here. Margaret Phillips. Here. Richard Morgan.
Here.
Kelly Gangle. Here. Pat Hovis.
Here.
Jerry Trolley.
Present.
Kathy King.
Here. Thank you. Council, you previously received the April 11, 2023 regular meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Madam President, I move that we accept these minutes as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? I have a motion by Ms. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Trolley to approve the April 11, 2023 regular meeting minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries and the minutes are approved. The chair notes a certification has been made regarding compliance with the rules and notifications of this meeting. We have no guest presentation, no public comment. We went to executive officers' reports. Council, this evening there are 5 new ordinances. Ordinance number 11-23, 12-23, 13-23, 14-23, and 15-23. They will all be assigned to the Finance Committee, and administration has asked that they be passed on their second reading. And I'd just like to thank the mayor for judging last night for Rotary. I think we had a good time, so it was a very nice turnout there too. Well, I guess you'll talk about the pancake breakfast during your time. So that's all I have this evening. Mayor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, members of council. Just a quick update on 4th of July fundraising activities. With inflation and increasing the shows over the past couple of years, the total cost for the fireworks alone is $16,000. As of this moment, we're shy of about $3,000, a little less than $3,000 shy of our goal. That does not include any money generated from this past weekend's breakfast at the Masonic Lodge, nor does that include any of the dollars generated from the coins for kabooms that are going on at a variety of area restaurants. So I would encourage everyone that can hear my voice to give your coins to the kabooms and so forth. Again, we're planning a full day of activities on July 4th, starting with the 5K in the morning, leading all the way through to the fireworks in the evening. Moving on, the topic of conversation between Mr. Colson and I the past couple of weeks has been the fence around the wetlands. Our hope was that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers would agree with us that the plants are holding and they get that fence down sometime in May in time for Memorial Day weekend and the summer season. Mr. Colson got an email earlier today and they completely disagree with our taking on that. They're going to come back in the summertime at some point this summer, I think is how it was worded, to even give us a date to reevaluate and go from there. So that's where that stands. Again, as the President alluded to, the Rotary Pizza Challenge was last night. It was a blast being a judge again this year. The pizzas were extraordinary. I left with, of course, a bellyache because I ate way too much. I hope it went well. There seemed to be a lot of people there, and I congratulate the Rotary for another year. And for a Kiwanian to congratulate a Rotarian, that's a step in itself. The city cleanup was this past Saturday as well, from 8 to 3. It went very, very well. I want to thank the city crews, Republic Services, and all those that participated in keeping our city clean and appreciate their patience in the long lines. And on that same note, just a reminder that we have ordinances on the books regarding living room lawns, grass holes, those folks that mow their grass out into the streets, Garage sales must be registered, and we're starting to see some pretty high grass now that we're in mowing season. So be mindful of that. If you see anything, please contact the Port Clinton Police Department, and they'll go out and at least notify the violator of the issue at hand, if not outright give them a ticket. The phone number, non-emergency phone number, I'm saying this, I know you guys all know it, I'm saying this for those folks that watch the internet, is 419-734-3121, or you can do dispatch@portclintonpd.org. That will go, an email that will go right to the dispatcher, and they check that quite frequently. I'm surprised Mr. Holman didn't mention this, and Mr. Trolley, I'm sorry, I'm going to take your thunder here, but Arbor Day is this Friday. There's a great ceremony planned for 5:30 at Adams Street Park in the 100 block in the north half of that 100 block. Again, 5:30 at Adams Street Park. We are aware of the issue with dead fish on the city beach. What's happened, we had that warm spell last week. The lake took a quick jump in temperature. It happens every year. It killed a particular species of fish, and they're washing up all along the western basin of Lake Erie. But with the other activities going on, grass mowing, not too many folks using the beach right now. We'll get to it as soon as we can, but we are aware of the situation, and we'll address it as soon as manpower allows. Had an opportunity to go down to the art garage today. It had been several weeks since I was out of town that I had an opportunity to get down there, and there's some really amazing things going on down there. I'd encourage everybody to stop by that art garage. Of course, they have classes all the time on a wide range of artist activities and events and skills. Most of them for the kids are free. Some events that are coming up, the biggest week in American Birding starts in early May. They're in the process now of changing their displays. They have an exhibit called Feathers to Frames, a lot of photography and oil paintings and pen drawings of a whole wide range of bird life that flock through this area. Does your husband have some items on display as well?
No, but his partner does.
Okay, very good, very good. And make sure you stop by her husband's booth. It's amazing down there. This summer, the art garage is going to have 2 outdoor artists in residence. One is going to be a blacksmith, the other one's going to be a glass blower. You can call the art garage and set up an appointment to learn how to blow glass and do whatever it is blacksmiths do with their metal work. And with the glass blowing, they'll be able to explain to you a little bit better, but it's kind of neat. For every person that takes the glass blowing class, and it's a one-on-one course, that glass blower will give a free class to a child. And then the product that is made through the glass blowing will have the opportunity to be displayed in the art garage, or certainly you can take it home with you. So that's a neat opportunity. And then the Greater Port Clinton Area Arts Council has also made arrangements with the Toledo Opera. The Toledo Opera on Wheels will be in Port Clinton on May 11th for a free performance at St. John Lutheran Church. The Pirates of Penzance is the performance. Again, contact the art garage for those activities and many, many more. It's just such a neat spot. It's becoming very well known in the arts community, not only in Port Clinton and Ottawa County, but really most of Ohio, Southeast Michigan, Indiana. There's folks coming in from all over the place to see what artists have talent in this area, to do their own thing. They have a plein air exhibit, which basically means people that typically sit outside and do landscapings or wildlife. They have a meeting there, and there's folks that travel from basically that circle I just talked about. So it's really been a neat addition, and I just can't say enough about the good things that, when I sat down with the folks at the Greater Port Clinton Arts Council and Mr. Martin and I, when Martin presented them with the idea of taking over the city garage, I never in my wildest eyes figured they'd take that dirty, rundown building and build it to what it is today. And I know they're still in the capital fund campaign program. So it's gonna only get better and better, and it's amazing right now. So with that, unless anyone has any questions, I'll be kind to you tonight, and that concludes my report. Mr. Tiroli, how are you today?
Very good, sir. And you?
Hi, I'm doing good.
How about an update on Flip?
The last time we talked, the U.S. Department of Agriculture was going to underwrite the entire project.
Right.
When it's done, we're reviewing the plans as well as our bidding process. They had concluded or were very close to concluding the below ground phase and had started looking at the above ground. I'm actually going to turn it over to these two gentlemen because they have been doing the yeoman's work in getting paperwork and information to the U.S. Department of Agriculture before they can give us the thumbs up to go out for bid. Fellas,
We
you have anything to add?
can't go out to bid until they give the approval, so we're
Correct,
just waiting for that
correct.
process. Can't tell you, I mean. I'm
All
sure
we
it's a
can
couple
tell our,
weeks.
constituents in the near
It's
future.
very, very close.
That's all you can say.
Yeah.
There's nothing else.
Yeah.
I know,
Mr. Beal's got all the paperwork in, so yeah.
exactly.
And this whole process, from what we've been told, is new post-COVID. This is really one of the first big projects, to our understanding, that they've undertaken, and so all this stuff is
So
new.
it's a learning process
Yeah.
for them at our expense.
Yeah. But on the flip side, again,
Exactly.
those strings that are attached, they're gonna drop a chunk of money to help us
Oh, yeah.
out, so.
Right. and
Definitely.
Working hard to get the grants over the loans, so
Yep.
it's well worth the wait.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Mr. Trolley, I can talk a little bit more about that. So tentatively, right now USDA is proposing and hopefully securing from Washington DC a total of $10 million for both water and sewer in the form of grants, so free money to offset our long-term costs, which would be incredible, as larger than we anticipated it would be. So they have some follow-up questions to defend that proposal of up to $10 million for the water and sewer portions. With that $10 million and with the $2 million from the Army Corps of Engineers in Buffalo and the $4.5 million from US EPA that came through as a congressional earmark, the preliminary financing, once all the projects are done and we're paying on all of those, the debt service is that the water and sewer impact fee or the infrastructure fee that everyone's paying on their water bills will will cover the debt service for that part of the project, which is excellent. That's where we want to be. Obviously, we don't want to be short. On the flip side, the road project, it looks like we will be several tens of thousands of dollars short from road levy revenue coming in annually to what our annual debt service will be. After the second phase of the road, the second phase of the road will
Right.
cap the whole project on the back end, so we won't be paying that debt service right away. But in time, we will be short. I've estimated we should be able to cover that with a simple transfer from the general fund to make it work, so that's not an issue. But there's significant grant dollars involved that keeps the infrastructure fee where it is, as opposed to raising it to meet that debt ceiling. So all the patience that everyone's having, you, including all the residents who have been paying on that for a while, that allows us to keep those costs down as long as as long as USDA musters that full $10 million. So.
Well, thank you for that good news.
Sure.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Madam President. I'm done.
I have a question. Seagulls, anybody figuring out, they seem to be coming in already, it's still cold out there, just in flocks. Occupy, anybody think of a way to get rid of them or trying to find some way or?
Well,
The building owners, and we've talked about this last year, the building owners have to file permits. The city cannot do anything. It has to be through the building owners downtown. So some of the building owners do have permits that they can get rid of the eggs. Others do not have permits, so if they don't have a permit, they can't go up there. The only thing they can do is move the nest when there's no eggs in them. If there's eggs in them, they can't touch them unless they have the permit through that. So it's not really in our hands. We set the meeting up, had everybody involved. People did, 2 or 3 businesses I know downtown have permits for that. So there's nothing else we can do from that regard, so.
Thank you.
Mr. Beal, you have anything else you want to report on for auditor's report?
Yes, nothing more on seagulls, but the city did submit 1 month ago a request for $500,000 from the Department of Justice through our congressional offices for police equipment, including cruisers and a drone and some other items, including resurrecting costs to help resurrect the command program. And we learned last week that that project was advanced along the phase, so we made the first cut at the $500,000 level. We should see that next phase probably in the summer sometime. So it would follow the same pathway the EPA dollars, the $4.5 million came for the water infrastructure project. So I'm happy to report that. On another effort, the U.S. Forest Service will be implementing a $1.5 billion program for urban forest, planting, maintenance, and related activities. The state of Ohio, through ODNR Forestry, will get an allocation of, I'm told, a very significant amount. And I hope to work with them to supercharge our planting maintenance program. Most grants will be for 5 years, so it won't be just like a one-off and then money goes away. That it would be a significant dollar amount, a significant investment that would help offset costs to get a better handle on the maintenance of the city's tree canopy across all neighborhoods. So that will probably be later this summer and into the fall when there will be a submission made through ODNR Forestry. So I hope to work with the Tree Commission and everybody else involved to make sure that we can capture some of those dollars. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
No
Mr.
questions. Good.
Fuller? Okay, thank you. Mr. Beal, we'll move on to the treasurer's report.
Yes, currently for our bed tax collections for the year so far are $20,642.04, which represents about 6% of our budgeted expected revenue, and the dock tax, is $6,267.32, which represents approximately 30% of our expected revenue. Thank you.
Law Director report.
Thank you, Madam President. Last time we were here, I spoke about the detachment of that little parcel over behind 11th Street. That is officially no longer in our city. It has moved to Portage Township. County Police Court judge signed that, so it's done. And if you notice, they're planting lovely pine trees back there. So, and we'll be tearing down that White House, so it will look much better for the city. Also, I don't know if you remember back, we had a gentleman by the name of Charles Tingler who filed many different lawsuits. He filed 4 against the city, also the sheriff's office, the police department, the sheriff's office, and then in total it was over 100 writs of mandamus that he filed to the Supreme Court of Ohio. Just wanted to do a quick follow-up. He has been declared a vexatious litigator by the Supreme Court of Ohio, which means all of his actions in mandamus were dismissed, including ours. So everybody's was dismissed. He can no longer file anything through the Supreme Court or the lower courts without permission first. So hopefully at this time, we will not be hearing from Mr. Tingler. The Supreme Court came out with a nice entry basically indicating that he started off at 80 he filed, and then it was over 100, and really the only way to stop him was to declare him a vexatious litigator. So hopefully that should be an end to his filings. Just an update on that.
What's the adjective? What kind of litigator?
It's called a vexatious litigator.
Vexatious?
Yeah.
V-I-X-A-T-I-O-S?
V-E-X.
Okay.
Vexatious litigator.
Vexatious. It's one who does way too many, right?
Way too many.
Frivolous.
Frivolous.
It's been a few years, hasn't it?
No, he filed these right at the end of the year. So he started off in the appellate court, and he was declared a vexatious litigator out of Erie County Common Pleas Court, which slowed him down for a little bit, but then he started filing at the end of last year to the Supreme Court. So basically what he would do is he'd call an agency, and it stemmed from Toledo down to Cincinnati. He'd call a police department and would say, I'd like to file a police report against so-and-so, and it's usually a government official, for so-and-so. And I'd like these records. And if you didn't do as he said within probably 24 hours, he filed a mandamus in the Supreme Court. So, there were over 100, different mandamus actions that needed to be answered. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of time, a lot of work, not only by the court itself, but all the attorneys that had to answer this. So that's basically, hopefully the end for now of him filing. I shouldn't say that, knock on wood.
Way to go.
So as of right now, everything has been decided. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Move on to supervisors' reports. Mr. Goldston?
Nothing tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. We'll move on to committee report. Did anyone have any questions for Mr. Goldston? Mr. Troy? Okay, we'll move on to committee reports. Finance, Ms. Hovis.
There will be a committee meeting on May 9th at 5:30 to go over these ordinances that have been assigned to my committee.
Environment and Public Works, Mr. Troy?
Yes, there will be a committee meeting the same day at 6:30, following council meeting.
Safety Services, Ms. Phillips.
Nothing here, thank you.
Thank you. Economic and Community Development, Mrs. Gilman.
We have a meeting immediately following council tonight.
Okay, we'll move on to correspondence. Under correspondence, we have the Architectural Review Board, March 9, 2023 minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes, or the correspondence as stated?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Any discussion? I have a motion by Mr. Troy, seconded by Ms. Phillips, to approve the correspondence as stated. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. We'll move on to readings of ordinances and resolutions. Under third readings, would the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 10-23?
Ordinance number 10-23, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to enter into a concessions license at Waterworks Park with North Coast Beach Fitters.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 10-23?
Madam President,
Mr. Troy.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance 10-23.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Carey. Any discussion?
Yeah, Madam President, the Environmental and Public Works Committee discussed this with Mr. Colston. It's going to be a wonderful thing down there for citizens of Port Clinton and our visitors. And the Environmental and Public Works Committee wholeheartedly behind this ordinance.
Any other council members have discussion or questions? Okay. We have a motion by Mr. Troy, seconded by Mrs. King, to adopt ordinance 10-23. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Kelly Gangel?
Yes.
Margaret Phillips?
Yes.
Beth Gilman?
Yes.
Richard Morgan?
Yes.
Kathy King?
Yes.
Jerry Trolley?
Yes.
Pat Hovis?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 7-0. Ordinance 10-23 is hereby adopted. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only resolution 23-5?
Resolution number 23-5, a resolution to appropriate funds from the purpose of decoration of graves, conducting memorial services, and otherwise engaging in activities appropriate for the celebration of Memorial Day 2023.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to resolution 23-5?
Madam President,
Mr. Troy.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt resolution 23-5.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. King. Any discussion?
Yes, Madam President, it's nice that we're doing this so far ahead of time. I can remember when we did it at the last minute.
Yes. Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Troy, seconded by Mrs. King, to adopt resolution 23-5. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Pat Hovis?
Yes.
Kathy King?
Yes.
Beth Gilman?
Yes.
Richard Morgan?
Yes.
Jerry Trolley?
Yes.
Kelly Gangel?
Yes.
Margaret Phillips?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 7-0. Resolution 23-5 is hereby adopted. We have no second readings. We move on to first readings. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only, ordinance 11-23.
Ordinance number 11-23, an ordinance adopting the solid waste management plan for the Ottawa, Sandusky, Seneca Joint Solid Waste Management District and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 11-23? Seeing none, ordinance 11-23 will move to its second reading at the next regular scheduled council meeting on May 9th, 2023. Will the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 12-23?
Ordinance number 12-23, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to enter into a three-year wage increase agreement with the Teamsters Local 20 and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 12-23? Seeing none, ordinance 12-23 will move to a second reading on May 9, 2023, the next regular scheduled council meeting. Will the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 13-23?
Ordinance number 13-23, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to enter into a 3-year wage increase agreement with Fraternal Order of Police Lodge number 79 and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 13-23 this evening? Seeing none, ordinance 13-23 will move to a second reading at the next regular scheduled council meeting on May 9, 2023. Will the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 14-23?
Ordinance number 14-23, an ordinance revising and fixing the salaries and benefits of certain supervisory positions classified as exempt employees of the city of Port Clinton, Ohio, and replacing any previous ordinances referencing salaries for certain exempt employees and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 14-23? Seeing none, ordinance 14-23 will move to a second reading at the next regular scheduled council meeting on May 9, 2023. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 15-23?
Ordinance number 15-23, an ordinance revising and fixing the wages of certain supervisory positions classified as non-exempt employees of the city of Port Clinton, Ohio, not covered by collective bargaining agreement, and replacing any previous ordinance referencing wages for certain non-exempt employees and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 15-23? Seeing none, ordinance 15-23 will move to its second reading at the next regular scheduled council meeting on May 9, 2023. Move on to business from the floor. Mr. Morgan.
Just add on what you said about the Arts Garage. Yeah, I think it is, people don't know about it and they should. First of all, there's a lot of talent artists. If you see Sandy's husband's in there, you'll know. This stuff is just really cool. And it's not like anything else you see there. You can see 12 paintings, you'll know which one this is because it's different, and it's cool. I go to a writers group workshop there once a month. If anybody wants to become a writer, it always takes about an hour, and it's just an example of one of those kind of things it offers. It's the third Thursday of every month at 6 o'clock. And if you come, I'll read you something I wrote, and you can read something that you wrote. So anyway, it is a good thing, and whoever decided to do it, good idea. So that's all.
Nothing for me.
Thank you. Ms. Elvis?
Nothing tonight, Madam President.
Mr. Trolley?
Yeah, just a reminder, it seems like Miller Pipeline is in quite a few different areas of town recently, so just keep an eye on their equipment, so we don't get run over or hit any of their workers. That's it.
Thank you. Mrs. King?
I'll continue with the Arts Garage since I'm on the board. We're going to be having our Appetite for the Arts fundraiser September 16th, so everybody save the date, and it's going to be really fun.
Thank you. Ms. Phillips?
Thank you, Madam President. No, everything is okay. My only question, I thought we'd gotten already to Mr. Colston. That's why I asked about the seagulls, because I drifted for a moment.
Okay.
That happened.
That would have gotten me a detention in your class.
I don't think so.
Madam President,
Yes.
can I ask, did Ms. Phillips know vexatious litigator?
What about it?
Did you know the term?
Yes.
Bravo.
Can you explain it to Mr. Morgan?
Mrs. Gilman?
Thank you, Madam President. I did have a question for the mayor, if he knew who won the pizza challenge last night, because I was unable to attend. Or if Madam President would know the winner. If it's allowed to be disclosed, if not.
It is, yeah,
okay.
they announced it last night, and I can't remember.
I don't know who the pepperoni was, judged by the kids, but the adult specialty pizza was Cameo. They had an amazing jalapeno popper pizza.
Ooh.
It had jalapenos on it, but it also had the cream cheese, so it was nice, and there was a little bit of heat, but
I can't believe we.
Enough cool.
That's the first one.
While you're doing that, I did want to thank the city workers. I happened to be there when it was raining, and they were doing a magnificent job. Very pleasant, doing a great job helping people with their stuff. I know they're not supposed to do some of that, but they do a great job, and they were all very amicable workable through that weather.
Thanks, I'll pass it on.
Yes, I'm sorry, I think it was.
That's okay, I know it'll be in the Beacon, so
Yeah,
I'll
it'll be
watch
in the
for it.
weekend, and I can't find my email.
And I'm friends with the glass blower and the blacksmith, friends from way back, and they actually had lived in Lakewood and family friends. So I encourage everybody to check them out, they're very interesting, and let them tell you about the blacksmithing. He has done some marvelous mentoring, and it's just, they're interesting people, great addition to the Arts Garage, as everything is, so. Nothing else, Madam President?
Thank you. Seeing no further business, I want to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam President, I move this August body adjourned.
Thank you, do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, I have a motion by Ms. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Fuller to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries, we're adjourned. Thank you.